was one night on this journey where I honestly didn't know if I could keep going. And it was really tough. I mean, the process that you go through when you're having a new experience and you don't know what to expect. I mean, you do your best to plan things out, but the truth of the matter is, you don't know how things are going to unfold. And so on this particular night, I had serious doubts about whether or not I had made the right decision. I had decided to pack up my life and move out of my apartment, put my things in storage, and buy a ticket around the world. My visit was to Spain, India, Vietnam, Singapore, and Japan before returning home to New York. Hi, my name is Kalima Fergus Ayele. I'm an international school teacher and CEO and founder of Round Trip Ticket Home. At Round Trip Ticket Home, we support schools and school leadership teams in using design thinking tools in order to build communities and cultures of connection and belonging. We believe that those cultures don't happen by accident. You can intentionally design the culture and put systems and structures in place so that there's a more human-centered approach to problem solving. And that's what design thinking offers. There's a process you go through which relies on the use of empathy and creativity, and it also allows for prototyping and testing along the way. And in using this process to design systems and structures, we really can harness our inner gifts and talents in order to move us forward, rather than relying on someone else to come along and solve our problems for us. I think of this as our very own collective hero's journey. If you think about the stories that we tell, the mythologies such as The Wizard of Oz, where we follow a young heroine, Dorothy, as she travels through the strange and wonderful land. She's lost and she's looking for a way back home. And along the way, she meets some companions. She finds a scarecrow who is looking for intelligence. She finds a tin man who's looking for hearts, and a lion who's looking for courage. And when they finally find the great Wizard of Oz, they realize he has no real power. And all along, they had everything that they needed within. And in that way, sometimes we have to look within, but we can also rely on one another. We can seek to understand the wisdom of other cultures. And in that way, we can act as pieces of one big puzzle. This journey and experience taught me so much that influences the way that I show up as a leader in my communities. And I think about that very difficult night in India because I was having such a difficult time with sleeping at night. And this one night I recall where I was really up the entire night. I couldn't fall asleep. And I remembered I ended up moving from the bedroom, ended up going to the couch. I ended up just reading. I started reading some of the stories of the local culture, and I just allowed myself to just be with that moment. And even though I knew how challenging it is when I don't get enough sleep, I know that sometimes my mind tends to start looping and I can get a little paranoid. I was also not feeling well, so I was like, what is going on? But I just remember knowing in that moment that this too shall pass. And I do think that that was really how I got through it, is recognizing that even though challenges will come, they're not permanent. They won't stay forever. It won't be hard always. And yes, I know that's definitely a tool of optimism, but I think it's also an acceptance and a willingness to be with what is. And in many ways, that's one of the things that I practice, is just being with what is. I think of the Buddhist principle, which talks about the second arrow, where the idea is that whatever in life that you're experiencing that might be causing you pain is the first arrow. But then, if you then feel bad about feeling bad, you've also introduced a second arrow. And so I think about that in these moments where I say, okay, well, I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling grief, or I'm feeling anger, or even righteous rage, envy, or hatefulness. Whatever it is that I'm feeling, I just allow it to be part of the breadth and the range of being human. Truth that I've come to know is that by allowing myself to experience some emotions and feelings that are just part of what it means to be human, I make space for the experiences that I want to have, that are part of being human. And so I hope that helps someone. I would love for you to share your own experiences as well. Are there any nights or moments that you might have gone through that felt like you were in an abyss and undergoing some sort of metamorphosis? And of course, sometimes it's not just one night, it might be a period of days or weeks. And what is it that allows you to get through those moments? Let's share and keep each other motivated and lifted and inspired through these times. Thank you so much for listening. It's been a pleasure to share this journey with you. And I hope you will like and share this and subscribe so that we can keep the conversation going. Ask me any questions you might have. I'll be happy to answer. See you next time. Bye bye.